Gosh, I say it and they do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to be with you for this convention. My name is David Blankenhorn. I'm the president of Braver Angels, and it is my duty and high honor to bring this 2024 Braver Angels National Convention to order. I got a million of them. It's also my duty and also a great honor to put before you four individuals who have been nominated to be our officers at this convention. So I'm going to do that very briefly, then we're going to put it to a vote. Tell you who they are. Where are they seated? Where are these wonderful people? There they are. The first person I'd like to introduce is Cameron Swallow. Could you stand up for a moment, Cameron? All right, some people here know her. Cameron has been nominated to be the blue co-chair of the convention. Cameron hails from Kenosha, Wisconsin. And she says this about herself. I was raised in Tennessee, a blue raised by reds, which makes me in some ways politically bilingual and in other ways painfully isolated. I became a Braver Angels moderator in 2018, a state coordinator in 2019, a music team member in 2020, and I have worked this year with the Heartland Initiative to bring a Braver Angels presence to the two national political conventions. And now I am happy to welcome you all to my hometown of Kenosha. So, the next person I would like to introduce is Matt Hausman. Matt, if you could stand up and be recognized. Matt has been nominated to be the red co-chair of our convention. Matt hails from Pesotum, Illinois, and here's what he says. I grew up on the family farm and have worked as an aerospace engineer, high school teacher, an international volunteer, a nonprofit executive, a congressional candidate, and now a university professor, while still helping on the family farm. I got involved with Braver Angels in 2020. I was a founding member of the East Central Illinois Alliance in 2021, became Illinois Red State Coordinator in 2022, and have been helping run the Heartland Convention Initiative since last fall. So, thank you, Matt. The next candidate I'd like to introduce is Jesse Maniso. Jesse, would you stand up for a moment? Jesse is our nominee for convention parliamentarian. Jesse is from Silver Spring, Maryland. All right, who knew? Here's what she says. I'm a native of Detroit who moved to Washington, D.C. to work as an intelligence analyst. I attended my first Braver Angels Red Blue workshop in 2019. I've served as co-chair of the D.C. Alliance's Community Debates Program since 2022 and came on board early this year as Braver Angels Director of Debates. So, thank you, Jesse. The next person I would like to introduce is Baravan Tamsin. Baravan? Barron is our nominee to serve as our secretary for this convention. Baravan lives in the great town of Brooklyn, New York. Here's what she says. I am a first-generation American of Turkish and Kurdish heritage, born in Montreal, Canada, and raised in New York State. My career has been working in K-12 school systems. I discovered Braver Angels through a LinkedIn post by Braver Angels member Rick Hotchner, which led me to become Braver Angels New York City strategic planner and New York State Braver Angels Blue co-chair. So, thank you. I would like to entertain a motion to elect these wonderful people as our officers. Do I hear such a motion? Yes, so moved. Do I hear a second? Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would like you to, if you would like to elect these wonderful people as our 4 convention officers, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes, I think, have it. So I'd like to invite Matt and Cameron to come up and take the gavel.
And with that, the speaker is thanked. Now we would like to call to the podium the County Executive for Kenosha County, Samantha Kirkman, to give us an official welcome to Kenosha.
I'm a little shorter. Cameron, thank you so much for the invitation to be here. Thank you to all the delegates, the guests that are here in our community tonight. I want to thank Braver Angels for facilitating this important conversation here at Carthage. And again, it is one of those wonderful opportunities to share a little bit about our community. Now, I've been the county exec since 2002, but I've been elected since 2000. So I came in when Al Gore and President Bush were in office as a state representative here in Wisconsin. So I've served for many years in that partisan role. And then 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to win the hearts and minds of those here in Kenosha County. Now, Kenosha is purple. It's a little bit of purple. And you might have heard about things that have happened here. So when I got elected, I made a strong commitment to listen. Listening is very important in my role. And when you do it well, you can bring people together. And you can't just hear what they're saying, you have to listen to what they're saying. Not always agreed with people. Now, in my previous role, it was more of a partisan role. I was a partisan state legislator. I wore the red lanyard. But in this role, we work together to find solutions. And I think that is what's so important. Now, I was talking with some people at dinner, and again, this is not part of my remarks, but, and I was listening to their conversations of why they're here and what brought them to this community. And I was really impressed. We talked of similar language, even though we're from different parts of the country and we have different backgrounds. And that's what I think is important, is we need to bring people together to unite, to solve the problems that our country, our state, and our local communities are facing. Because when we don't, the divide continues and problems aren't solved. And I said to that gentleman, you know, it's more about fixing the pothole or that human service connection where somebody might be coming to us because their son or daughter, mom or dad needs help. And to me, that's what is so important about my job. And when I get to do it well, it gets to bring people together. So it's for me to be here, to welcome you to Kenosha County, as I call it, the gateway to Wisconsin, located between Chicago and Milwaukee on a beautiful freshwater coast. So I hope that you enjoy your time here and that you listen to your neighbors and enjoy your conversations and go back home and share the message with others. So again, thank you so much for the invitation, and Cameron, thank you so much for having me here tonight.
And with that, the speaker is thanked. Now the chair would like to call Carthage College President John Swallow up to the stage.
Well, on behalf of our entire Carthage community, our students, faculty, staff, our alumni, and our board, welcome. Welcome to this place. We are so glad you're here. You matter. I want to say that from the bottom of my heart. I have watched as Cameron has been involved, and I have watched what's happened in Wisconsin. I have watched what's happened on our campus. I have watched what's happened nationwide. And my heart goes out to those founders that I've learned to call David, and Bill, although I don't know them that well, but it's a very friendly organization. And it is simply incredible what has grown over time. And it is a privilege for us to host you all here. We are fortunate to do that and hope that we will do it many times in the future. I want to say it matters for our students. Earlier today, there was a session on college debates, and we have had those here, and they always go incredibly well. Always. And in fact, they've gone so well always that I've invited people. I invite community members, I invite local politicians, I invite board members, and they themselves are shocked. One of them came to the last one where the topic was resolved, gun ownership makes us safer, and the person was like, I thought I should leave the room, I don't know what was going to happen. And his own son spoke, and it was a beautiful thing. That's the power of the work you do, not just on college campuses, but nationwide. I'm so proud of it. I'm so privileged to be a part of it, each in my own way. And I'm so pleased that you're here. We're grateful for it. So welcome to Kenosha. As Samantha said, we're a purple place. Actually, Wisconsin's very evenly divided. Kenosha County is very evenly divided. The city, we have, I would say we're as American a place as it gets. So I can't imagine a better place to have this convention. Thank you.
And the speaker is thanked.
Okay, Cameron, so we're here. Beautiful Kenosha. This is an amazing place.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Matt, but I just can't go any further without asking what's up with this shirt you're wearing.
What?
This shirt with this angry eagle on it. I mean, what's the deal with your shirt?
Haven't you heard of Eagle Fang Karate?
Honestly, no.
Anyone here ever see the show Cobra Kai? Okay, we got a few fans. Anyone seen the movie Karate Kid? All right. So Cobra Kai is a sequel series to the Karate Kid. And so in the Karate Kid, you had Daniel LaRusso was the Karate Kid, and his antagonist was Johnny Lawrence. Well, Cobra Kai picks up about 30 years after that, and Johnny Lawrence is now the protagonist. So the entire series, they're going back and forth and getting each other's perspective and fighting and then coming together and fighting and coming together. And in the most recent season, there was a line that was just perfect. It was at the time when they were actually together, and one of them said, "We represent two opposing philosophies that have come together and found common ground where none seemed possible." And I just think that encapsulates the message of Braver Angels.
All right, Matt. You've sold me. I respect the shirt. And I pledge to work with you across all the divides that we have just now revealed. There's gender, there's generation, there's height, if you've seen him stand up. There's political alignment, and obviously culture, because I'd never heard of this television show that's signally important. But I will work with you across all of those divides.
It's binge worthy, and the last season comes out in about 3 weeks.
All right, but seriously, how did you get into Braver Angels?
So I've always loved this message of being able to respect or be able to disagree with somebody respectfully. When I was a high school teacher, I liked that. And when I heard about Braver Angels, I looked into it, and I think I signed a petition. I think it was the Hold America Together petition. And then a few months after that, I got a phone call. And so I have a question. How many people are here and involved in Braver Angels because somebody reached out to them? Quite a bit. All right. So that's what happened to me. There's a man in here somewhere. Chuck Stone. Where's Chuck? I don't see him. Is he up in the... Oh, he's up in the balcony. Okay. There's Chuck. So Chuck Stone reached out to me and talked about that he wanted to found this East Central Illinois Alliance. And so he got a bunch of people in the Champaign-Urbana area together, and we got a bunch of people here for that are here in Kenosha. And then later on, after my congressional campaign, after I lost, but Chuck reached out to me since I had more time on my hands now, and Chuck asked if I would be the Red State Coordinator. And so I gladly accepted to further this mission of bridging the partisan gap. And I mentioned Chuck a lot because he basically built up the Braver Angels in Illinois by himself. And we use this phrase, standing on the shoulder of giants. And I use it kind of jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, because I am quite a bit taller than Chuck. But Chuck is the giant of Braver Angels in Illinois. And so I would not be here today if not for him.
Funny you should mention that. I joined Braver Angels not because of a person, but because of seeing literature and posts about it on social media. But the first person that once I got my moderator credentials done back in 2018, was I going to attend a workshop? Was I going to co-lead one? The very first one I did was in Illinois, co-leading with Chuck. So he's become my mentor too. Thanks, Chuck.
Okay, so I guess we have to talk a little bit about our job, don't we? Like what we're actually doing here?
Yep. We are your co-chairs. It's a ceremonial role. We will open every plenary. We will give you your announcements and remind you of the schedule and rules. And we will keep things moving and keep people informed as the events unfold along this convention.
All right, and speaking of the announcements, so we got a couple to start out. So you should have all received these white folders at check-in. They're full of useful information, contains maps, agendas, and so on. Please note that there's a yellow card. There we go. Yellow card that says if you visit the exhibit hall, you can place your card in a drawing to win $250 of free stuff at the online Braver Angel shop. Not the bookstore here, just to be clear, the online shop. We will be drawing the winning card on Saturday.
Second announcement. The Todd Ware Center, where you had dinner, you should not park to block there. Please make sure that your cars are parked in the south lower lot. That's west of, go west from the lake to the south lower lot, down the hill near the football stadium. That is the place every visitor's car should be parked.
Okay. All right, and the last one we've got for right now. So you'll notice as you're walking around and you're greeting people, some people have a heart-shaped American flag sticker on their name badge. These are the people that have volunteered. They came here yesterday for training to get to know what's going on at the convention. So you can ask them questions about anything you may have, any questions you may have about where things are or how to get things done. If they don't know the answer, they'll know who does know it.
All right. Now we want to call to the stage Jesse Maniso, our parliamentarian, newly elected.
Thank you very much to our co-chairs. Thank you, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. My name is Jessie Maniso. As you've heard, I am both your conference parliamentarian and I'm the director of debates here at Braver Angels. And I've got something to say to you right now, wearing each of these hats. So first, speaking as parliamentarian, congratulations. All of you are delegates to this convention. And that means you are here to participate, not just to watch us put on a show, but to actually take meaningful action as a group. Later on in our closing plenary on Saturday, this is going to matter, but don't worry, I will be back on Saturday to guide you through this process. What you need to know now is that this convention, and specifically these plenary sessions where we all come together in the chapel, are run with a modified form of what we call parliamentary procedure. If you have participated in our debates, you will recognize this. The rules and procedures are on page 5 of your program, so you can look at those, review them just to understand what we're doing. But basically, this is a system that is designed to enable big groups to talk effectively and efficiently to each other. The chair, Cameron and Matt, our co-chairs, most of the time, occasionally they may pass it off to someone else, will not be dictating to you, but rather facilitating conversation among all of us as equals. Whether you are staff or volunteer, whether you've been volunteering since we were founded, or whether you showed up for the first time at this convention and you're just learning what's going on, we are all equal here. The chair merely facilitates our conversations. If you know nothing at all about parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Orders as it's called, don't worry. We're going to use a simple modified version to give you what you need to participate. So all I'm going to give you right now is how to ask a question. It's really simple. All you do is you raise your hand and you wait for the chair to give you the nod. And then you say, for a point of inquiry. Anyone want to try? There you are. All right. If anyone actually has a question, you can try that later. But if you don't, so the chairs, if they don't have a really good reason not to, like don't ask a question in the middle of the skit, that would throw off the vibe. But if they don't have a good reason like that not to, the co-chairs will nod, grant you the floor, say, for a point of inquiry. And then you stand and ask your question. It's that simple. That's all you have to know. So, any questions? Cool. All right, now switching hats. We're really layering hats because we do a lot with the parliamentary procedure in the debate program too. Some of you may have heard that Presidents Trump and Biden are going to have a debate tonight. Some civil discourse about the issues that matter to us, and we are going to turn it on in here. 8 o'clock, it starts. Be back here at 7:45 because we're going to walk you through some stuff before we turn it over to CNN. It's optional. If you don't want to come, you do not have to. We have other activities too, some cool movies about Lincoln. You could go back to your room and decompress. Maybe you've had a long travel day. It's up to you. But I really hope that you will consider joining us because this honestly is an exciting experiment. We found out when we were well into planning this convention that this was going to happen during this plenary, and we had to move some stuff around, but we did it because we decided this was an opportunity we could not miss. Because this really is relevant to what we're doing here. It's relevant to why we're here. All of you, after all, came because you want to maintain connection with people who think differently from you, right? You came all the way to Kenosha, a long way probably for most of you, except some of the locals. Welcome, thank you for hosting us, Kenoshans. But for most of us, it's probably pretty far. You're in a city whose name most of us only know because of a very, very polarizing event that happened here. Deeply upsetting to most of us, no matter what your views are. And so here you are, in this city, in this crowd, and that is already a huge vote of confidence in this project. So why? Why did you come? And why are so many of us going to watch this debate together? Here is the answer I would suggest. We're doing this to know each other. A lot of other things follow from that. Taking meaningful action, the possibility of civic renewal, yes, all of it. But all of that starts with knowing each other. I mean, you already know what you think of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, right? Is there anyone in this room, in this audience, who feels like you are still trying to make up your mind about what you think about Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Okay, we have a special breakout session for you if you haven't been on planet Earth for the past 8 years. But if you already know, you know. We know Donald Trump, we know Joe Biden. The people we don't know are our fellow delegates in this room. Some of you are already friends and colleagues, sure. Teammates, yes. But even those who you already know, we can always know better. And beyond that, this room is full of people who are strangers at this moment, but who will be friends when you leave. All you know about them right now is what color lanyard they are wearing and the fact that they chose to come here to Kenosha. And so they're probably curious about you the same way you're curious about them, right? So when this presidential debate was announced, and when we realized that this was an opportunity that we had to seize, we thought about how to approach it. There was no preset playbook in the Braver Angels workshop kit that tells you how to process what we are going to see on CNN tonight. It'll be up there. I'm like, oh, look, that's me. Cool. Not Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, but they'll be up there later. Ultimately, we decided, well, it's a debate. Does the debate team have an idea? Like, well, this isn't really a Braver Angels debate, but yeah, actually, we have an idea. We devised a program around this CNN program that's based on how we run our debates. Now, this is where I get on my soapbox as the director of debates for a moment. The program that we're about to see on CNN is not the same thing as what we call a debate here at Braver Angels. It's a panel. It's a moderated discussion. It's also not a Braver Angels debate, even though we're going to use some of the tools and techniques that we use in our debates. It'll be a facilitated conversation. If you don't know what our debates are, by the way, I invite you to participate in one of the 8 breakout sessions where we will be offering Braver Angels debates with a resolution where you'll offer affirmative or negative speeches. I hope to see you at one of them. Tonight will not be one of those, but it will be run in a similar way. What would it look like if we did that with our presidential candidates? Well, even our working model of Braver Angels candidate debates is meaningfully different from what you will see on CNN. And we do have such a thing. Did you know that the Braver Politics team, led by Elizabeth Dahl, is working on a model of candidate debates that will bring the Braver Angels way into this space? And it is fantastic. And I can't wait to see it grow. Thank you, Liz Dahl. But I want to come back to an even more basic question. Why do we even have debates in Braver Angels? Isn't that, in fact, polarizing? That's one of the questions that we on the debate team hear more often than any other. And there is a grain of truth to it. By making people pick sides, affirmative or negative, we are pushing you to one side or the other, one pole or the other, you might say. And that's why people ask this question, right? Isn't it polarizing? So why do we do it? Well, it's our starting point. Asking you which side you fall toward on a resolution identifies the meaningful differences between us. And yes, there are meaningful differences between us. If there weren't, we would not be facing the challenges that we face. And so tonight, at the Debate Watch party, we are not here to brush them under the rug. We are here to explore them. And it's in that exploration that the process of depolarization begins. It is just a beginning. It takes time. It takes faith in the process. You will not all come out tonight, or even out of a Braver Angels debate, feeling like you all are best buddies, perfectly in sync, and singing Kumbaya. It's not even our goal to get you there, because that means you'll all be thinking the same, and that is not what we're here to do. Thank you. Yes, all your views are welcome here, whatever they are. But I do hope that after we finish tonight, you will know more about what those views are, about who we all really are, and not just the caricatures that are put out there of our opponents in our echo chambers. So I want to ask you, why does someone feel fear when you feel hope? What do they really fear? And why do they fear it? Fear can make us do awful things that we regret. We can miss out on things. Anger, that's even worse, right? We've all acted in ways we regret when we're angry. I can't think of a time that anger has made me closer to someone immediately. But I can think of times when I expressed that I was angry or hurt, and another person listened to me and accepted that I was angry and cared why. And I've done it for others, and it is hard to do. But once you cross that bridge, then you are again coming closer and you know each other better. We may hear things tonight that make us angry and watch someone else cheer for that very thing. But if you can bridge that anger, if you can listen to that, you will have offered someone something important. So what will you do with that offering? What will you do with that knowledge that you gained tonight? I'm not here to answer that for you. I just want to pose the question, because all of us, as delegates to this convention of depolarizers, we're here to figure that out together. We are all responsible for this question. And it's true that we're facing a zero-sum game in November. There is no room for nuance in this outcome, because either Trump is going to win or Biden is going to win, and there is going to be fear and there is going to be anger on the losing side. And the winning side is going to have plenty of big feelings that I hope that they will handle with grace and magnanimity as well. But our program tonight is designed to give you the raw material that you get to mold into what you think depolarization really looks like in practice. Something you can build on as we approach and go through the election in November. So tonight, we're going to use our debate program's model, that parliamentary procedure that I just talked to you about. We're going to give you, if you come back at 7:45, we will run you through it to try to bring out these same opportunities to listen to those who think differently. We're going to have comments during our commercial breaks. There will be 2 of them during the 90-minute program of 3.5 minutes each. And our team, which will be a chair and several whips run around helping the chair, will be cultivating the conversation in the same way we cultivate our own Braver Angels debates. If you've done our online debates, you chat to a whip, we know your question. It'll be kind of like that, but live in person. We will have a follow-up conversation after the CNN program concludes. So we'll brief you on that at 7:45. Tonight's chair, my colleague and friend, Luke Nathan Phillips, defines depolarization as the personal defeat of political hatred. And that is what we are here to do tonight. We have a long road ahead of us, but I am really hopeful that this battle against hatred will mark a turning point. My hope for tonight is that we all learn something about ourselves and about each other that helps us come closer to that personal defeat of political hatred. Thank you, and I hope to see you back here at 7:45.
And with that, the speaker is thanked. So Cameron, that was pretty impressive.
I'm excited and hopeful.
But I have another question. Are you ready?
Ooh, I'm ready for a watch party. Yeah.
All right, well, I hope everyone is ready. And so next, the chair would like to invite Monica Guzman, Braver Angels Senior Fellow and host of a Braver Way podcast.
Okay, folks, it's time for some real talk, okay? Can any of you really believe this is happening? This! You know what I'm talking about. This thing that we are apparently doing, the talking about politics at a time like this with a giant group like this, with the red lanyards and the blue lanyards in equal numbers, mixing it up with the yellow lanyards, keeping it interesting, chit-chatting about abortion, immigration, COVID, the media, transgender care, populism, racism, this strangest and for some of us, scariest of elections. We're doing this for days somehow. And we're doing this on purpose? Raise your hand if someone in your life has raised their eyebrows at you when you told them you were coming here this week. Did they shake their head at you? Did they glare at you like you had three heads? Like someone did last week when I told them I was willingly watching an American presidential debate in 2024 with hundreds of people from the other party. How did we get here? You ever ask yourself that? All of us, all of you, all of us whose paths led us somehow to this room, to this college where Abraham Lincoln was a trustee, to this swing state in the Midwest, to this city on I-94, right between Milwaukee, where the Republicans will hold their national convention in about 2 weeks, and Chicago, where the Democrats will hold theirs in about 2 months. This room, this chapel. You know that saying, a wing and a prayer? I like the space here. Look around, feel it. I like the height. Hope is the thing with feathers. That's a line from an Emily Dickinson poem. You could lift off in here, rise above something. Point is, let's face it, this thing that we are doing is a thing you're not supposed to do because it's not supposed to be possible or manageable. Some people out there think that for one reason or another, it's not even tolerable. But what is really intolerable is what we have allowed to go on in our name out there. Out there, we have conflict entrepreneurs tearing us apart for profit and clicks and generalized mayhem that we do not want and we do not deserve. In here, we have David Kaufman, a red who sat down next to this blue just the other day. There's David, everybody, on a bench by the lakeshore and told me he has the extraordinary distinction, get this, of having done the most Braver Angels one-to-one conversations across the divide of anyone ever in the history of the program. David, that's hundreds of online conversations with dozens of strangers across the country, all of them liberal, some of whom are now friends, including a person with whom he's clocked, was it 54 conversations, David? 54 and counting, learning and teaching so much. Out there, we have political debates that feel like manipulative theater. In here, we have Braver Angels debates, right, Jesse? Luke? We have Braver Angels debates designed to help us clarify what we actually believe in the first place and what we're actually disagreeing about, so we can grow wiser in the process, find the arguments that speak most clearly to each of us, and engage in a collective search for truth. Stand up if you're a debate chair, director, or if you've participated in a Braver Angels debate ever at all. Stand up. Stand up. Yes. 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 And maybe all of you will have done it by the end of this week. Out there, organizations in so many sectors are frozen in place, not knowing how to collaborate across their own differences in politics, in leadership, or how to productively contribute to making something better in the whole ecosystem they're working in. In here, we have more than 200 organizations in a cross-partisan and cross-sector coalition called Braver Network. Some of them are from the right, some are from the left, some have absolutely nothing to do with politics, some are faith organizations, local organizations. Many actively disagree with each other, but all are coming together to build a movement for civic renewal. If you're part of an organization in Braver Network, or if you help lead Braver Network, stand up. Let's recognize you. Thank you. You can do this. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you. Out there, we have communities and neighborhoods everywhere feeling wrecked by political misunderstandings that they don't know how to bridge. In here, we have so many representatives from, is it 100 local Braver Angels alliances all over the country, in the north, in the south, in urban spaces, in rural spaces, each led, co-led by someone who leans conservative and someone who leans liberal, putting that divide right at the center and tackling it from the start. Stand up if you help lead a Braver Angels Alliance or are active anywhere in our amazing grassroots field. Let's see it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. This is where it starts. This is grassroots. Out there, we have giant generational gaps, keeping people from seeing each other's wildly different experiences of an evolving life and a changing world. In here, we have Porter, who's 91 years old, and Mia, who's 14 years old, appearing together tomorrow in Mind the Gap, an original play. I see you, Mia. I see you. Could you stand up, Mia? Yes, Porter, if you're here, stand up. They're appearing tomorrow night in Mind the Gap, an original play created by your fellow delegates about the political divisions that may or may not exist across generations. I would also love to invite to stand everyone involved with Mind the Gap and all of our musical and artistic performances this week. Let's see you. Thank you for helping us play with something that feels so heavy, but is ultimately so human. Thank you. Thank you. Just wait till you hear this. This thing that we're doing doesn't make sense out there. And that's why we need to do it and prove it and build the muscle around it in here. Out there, there are so many people who, for their own understandable reasons maybe some of us have really felt all the way, have lost hope. In here, we have you, all of you, showing up to create hope. And what happens at this Braver Angels convention does not stay at this Braver Angels convention. What we build in here, we are going to take out there. Because out there, some people find it impossible, unmanageable, and intolerable to be in the same room with people on the other political side. But in here, 700 of us from across the political spectrum have gathered from all over the country to not just be in one tall, spacious room, but to talk about abortion, immigration, COVID, the media, transgender care, populism, racism, and whatever else is going to come up. This strangest and for some of us scariest of elections, we are doing it for days, and we are doing it on purpose. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
Oh, beautiful, for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than love. America, sweet America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Can we sing it together? Y'all stand. Here we go. We're going to go from the top. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, let his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern impressions rest. Oh, thoroughfare of freedom be. Oh, cross the wilderness. Oh, America, America, God made thine every flaw. Oh, confirm thy soul with self-control, thy liberty in love. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee together. Here we go.
Oh, beautiful, for glory tale of liberating strife. When once and twice for lands avail, men lavished precious lives. America, God shed His grace on me till selfish pain no longer strain the banner of the free.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. That's what we can do.
Matt, are you ready?
I don't know that. I mean, that was so, we've forgotten to gavel them off.
The speakers and the singers are thanked.
Wow, but yeah, what'd you ask me again?
I asked if you were ready.
After that, I think I'm pretty ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I've been thoroughly reminded of why I'm here and thoroughly inspired about what is going to happen for the rest of this convention. I hope that's how you all feel. We do have the unenviable practical duty of a couple of nuts and bolts things and announcements to remind you of, however. So from here, we will take a 15-minute recess. We will recess the convention, and you will take a 15-minute break before you come back for the red, blue, and other watch party for the CNN debate. We will reconvene the convention tomorrow at 8:30. I need to ask you, what time will you be in the chapel tomorrow?
8:30.
Thank you.
Oh, we also do, if anyone just for understandable reasons don't really feel like watching the Biden-Trump debate, there is another offering. Where was it, Cameron?
There are two excellent Lincoln documentaries. I have seen them both, and they come from a foundation in Springfield, and it is fabulous. So even if you don't watch them tonight, you should look them up and find them later. They will be shown. Mark Metzger, I need to make 100% sure. Is it in the jockey rooms tonight? Okay. The documentary films will be screened in the jockey rooms, and that's in the same building as the cafeteria and the exhibition hall, which I imagine you have all found by now.
All right, I think it's been an incredible first plenary. And as Cameron said, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Until then, this convention is in recess.
It's not wrong, it's not right. It's not red, it's not blue. It's just me and you. It's not rich, it's not poor. Somewhere in the middle is the open door. If our points of view don't quite see eye to eye, well, that's all the more reason why we need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. A United States of humanity, the sum of every part. We need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. Resolutions in a revolution of the heart. We're living in a great divide. This fear of each other is our suicide. I believe love's gonna keep us alive, but only if we decide. We need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. A United States of humanity, the sum of every part. We need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. Resolutions in a revolution of the heart. It's not just the conversation, it's the listening. It takes every voice feeling heard to let freedom ring. We can solve our future, heal our history, sting, step toward our common ground, and spread our better age of wings. We need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. A United States of humanity. The sum of every part. We need a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. Resolution is a revolution of the heart. Oh, we hold this truth to be self-evident. I have a dream, a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. We hold this truth to be self-evident. I have a dream, a United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. A United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. A United States of humanity. We need it, we need it. Resolutions in a revolution of resolutions in a revolution of resolutions in a revolution of the heart.
Once again, your eyes on mine, just as the day begins to dawn. The color of the sky is flower sun, the light of the deep of wonder born. Today I will live. Destiny, I know in my heart you breathe the smile.
right. Welcome back, everybody. Looks like quite a few of you have decided to join us. Thank you for coming back and not being terrified of this experiment. All right, I have some very important announcements for you. First of all, if you have not signed up already, you can sign up for the Braver Way podcast text line. Moni is going to send a question about tonight's debate to that text line in just under 5 minutes. So don't miss it. If you want to sign up, please text BRAVE, B-R-A-V-E, BRAVE, to 206-926-9955. I will read that again. Get your phones out. Get ready, everybody. Text BRAVE to 206-926-9955. Okay? 206-926-9955 to sign up for the Braver Way podcast text line. All right. So I have a real quick story to tell you as you are getting into your seats. I myself have some experience of sitting in hostile spaces, having views not heard. And it happened to be a night that I was co-working with some people, and they basically all shut me down because they had a different view from me. And I'm imagining that tonight. I'm remembering that night. And something that helped me was that I was going to a Braver Angels debate that night as a new volunteer, as someone who is just learning. And that's why it is my pleasure to introduce to you tonight the person who brought me into Braver Angels, Luke Nathan Phillips. You are in good hands tonight. He will be our chair. Luke, come take the stage.
Thank you, Jesse. And will all my whips please come up and line up on the stage, and will Monica and David please line up behind them, if that's helpful. If you guys can get up here, that would help me out, and then we'll start. Tonight, you will watch the first debate between the presumptive nominees for the Republican and the Democratic presidential nominations, the two men most likely to serve as leaders of the free world in the coming years of tumult. Tonight's debate opens the rest of the election, with the Republican National Convention being held 30 miles north of us next month, the Democratic National Convention 50 miles south of us the month after, another debate like this one, and then a long, hard march to Election Day and all the passions it may bring. Like 2000, like 2008, like 2016, like 2020, this long year 2024 is a convergence of the currents of history, deadly serious, and we are all along for the ride. You are watching this grand spectacle with millions of your fellow Americans who are said to be tuning in record numbers to watch tonight at their homes and hearthstones all over this broad land. Some of them will be watching in big watch parties like this one. Some will be watching perhaps with friends and family and colleagues across the aisle whose views and opinions are strange, wrong, callous, and sometimes downright scary. But only you are watching from the largest known gathering in 2024 of Reds and Blues and everyone coming together here in Carthage on the shores of the Great Lake, Michigan, to make the defiant point that for some reason needs to be made, that whatever happens this election, that we will have a country, that we will have a nation, that the beating heart and living core of what America is the goodwill and friendship we feel for each other here and everywhere, and that nothing we love or hate or fear in politics can break that rock of union. With all our flaws, with all our mistakes, with all the frailties of human nature, as much on display as our virtues, with all the rancor and anger of our politics, we are blessed. And we can be a blessing to our fellow Americans in turn by showing them the right way to live in democracy, the Braver Angels way. Some of us are excited to see a great show, a great fight, to see the titans of our time shout meaning onto the open page of history. Flamboyant, sagacious, reserved, eloquent, dignified, unsparing, whatever we hope to see, we will see it. And in the fight on our screens, we hope to see, whatever the excess is, something great about ourselves. Some of us are eager to see a great debate, to hear the most prominent men in America speak directly to the most pressing issues of our time: inequality, free speech, abortion, immigration, the war in Gaza, and watch them stand up for what they believe in, and maybe for what we believe in too. We deserve to know what they think because these things matter to us. Many of us are worried, scared, ashamed to watch a spectacle of anger and pettiness, an appeal to the darkest angels of our nature by the people whose leadership, whose transcendence of selfishness we need the most. We're worried for our country, and we don't want to see exhaustion or vulgarity. We're disgusted by the cowardice of playing it safe by being mean. We deserve a better politics. When we are distraught, we will not see friendship and goodwill on the screens tonight, the friendship and goodwill that we are here to live. All of us are here bringing something of ourselves to the grand public discourse that is America. And I hope we'll be surprised, perhaps, in what we see tonight on CNN. I have friends working on the Trump campaign. I have friends working in the Biden White House. I love them all, and I know they love our country. I learn from them all, and I think we could all learn from them. But maybe most of all, there are things they can learn from us. And there are things that all our fellow Americans can learn from us. And we are here tonight to be worthy of showing them those things by living them ourselves. So, tonight, you're in an experiment. We've never done anything quite like this before. And as the most awkward guy in Braver Angels, it is my honor and delight to be your host tonight. As my dear friend Jesse, the lady in the lake, said, this is not a debate. We will use a little bit of Braver Angels debate procedure to keep the conversation flowing, but otherwise we are here to speak and to be heard, to learn, and to enjoy ourselves. I am joined on stage by Jesse as Chief Whip and our delightful Whip team: Natalie, Gabby, James, Sugar Bear, Liz Dahl, Emily, and Ian. Wave, everybody. All easily identifiable by those really cool hats they're wearing, which you too can buy at the book stand. And the whips are here to serve your every little whim and need. As we watch the debate and as we share our thoughts during the commercial breaks and afterwards, you should flag them down and tell them what you'd like to say. That will help me call on all of you in a very effective order. Whips, disperse. Thank you, all of you. You're the coolest whips in town. I'm also joined on stage by my dear friend, our daughter of light, Monica Guzman, and her producer, David Albright, who are taking interviews and reactions to the debate, the watch party, and everything else for her excellent podcast, A Braver Way, in a sound booth in the back. As you think on what's going on here, your thoughts matter deeply, and you might show up in a forthcoming episode of A Braver Way. And also, if you happen to be really, really angry at me for any reason, including capricious parliamentary tyranny, please, please, please go record your thoughts on Monica's podcast, where it will last in the official record far longer than anything you might say on the floor. Thank you. I hear there's also other press floating around here. Now This, Washington Post, Al Jazeera, perhaps some random Twitter accounts with a few dozen followers, someone who used to be a political reporter for Puff Daddy's network, Revolt TV, and also Terry Zuplot is here writing about this. Thanks, Obama. So feel free to share your thoughts with them as well. So here's how tonight will go. In a moment, we will watch the debate. Please do not yell at the screen. I will gavel you down if you yell at the screen. Flag down your whips, who will be rotating around the room, and tell them what you'd like to say. During the 2 3-minute commercial breaks, we will take a few rounds of reactions, and you will be asked to make quick remarks of roughly 30 seconds or so please be concise, or again, I will gavel you down. Then after the debate is over, we will stick around for a longer session, taking similar reactions, and we will incorporate as many voices as we can into this conversation. To get in line to make a remark, you must do 2 things. First, you must tell a whip you're interested and briefly tell them what you'd like to say. And then, when I ask for remarks, raise your hand so I can see you. I will call on you from the front, and a whip will bring you the microphone. There is a list of prompts on the sheets in front of you, and you should be thinking about those prompts as you consider the remarks you will be making. There will be no questions for individual speakers. When you speak, please speak your thoughts, your concerns, your questions, your fears, and your hopes directly to me and not to anybody else in the room. And with that, there is only one last rule, and that rule is our code of honor, the Braver Angels Way. It's on those sheets in front of you, and read it with me, everybody, from those sheets. We state our views freely and without fear. We treat people who disagree with us with honesty, dignity, and respect. We welcome opportunities to engage those with whom we disagree. We believe that all of us have blind spots, and none of us are not worth talking to. We seek to disagree accurately, avoiding exaggeration and stereotypes. We look for common ground where it exists, and if possible, find ways to work together. We believe that in disagreements, both sides share and learn. In Braver Angels, neither side is teaching the other or giving feedback on how to think or say things differently. And that is the Braver Angels way. Everybody? We got less than 1 minute till the debate starts. Let's turn the sound on the TV. And everybody, let's sit back and watch. Turn off our mics, please.
In America right now. If one of them can at least give a spark of that,
immediate responses and immediate comments from some folks. Ian, I believe there was somebody in the rafters up there who had a quick remark. But those who are interested in giving a quick comment, please raise your hands and I will start calling on y'all. Ian, is there somebody up there?
Got you on the second floor here on your
Yep,
left.
great. Please give your thoughts for about 30 seconds.
Sure. My name is Carson Brunn. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It seems like these two strapping young gentlemen are playing the biggest game of Know You that I've seen in quite a long time. It seems like this is what happens, and this is maybe a Gen Z perspective, but this seems to be what happens whenever you spend a long time stripping away a shared sense of reality that both candidates have, and now they're just going back and forth saying that everything both of them said was a lie, and it doesn't seem like this is going to change anybody's mind. I mean, everyone in here is kind of laughing at this. It's like we're watching like a comedy show.
It is a kind of ping pong. Let's go to another one. I saw a hand in the back. Elizabeth, was there a hand in the back I was seeing? Was there one there? Bring the mic over to them, please. Yes.
I've got one over here.
Oh yeah, I'll go over here. Yes. Nice catch. Yes, ma'am. Take about 30 seconds.
My name's Corey Zek, and as a blue, I have been cringing the entire time I've been watching this. To the point where just listening to Biden talk and responding, he's really not responding, in my opinion. Trump's wiping the floor with him in this debate, if you want my honest opinion. And it's to the point watching this where I'm considering flipping my vote, like for me, because I'm listening to Trump respond to this and he's doing the same thing he always does, where he doesn't really answer the question that's being asked until like the very last second. But he's convincing me, and that's taken a lot, because I've never really been a Trump supporter. But
Hey, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for saying that on the floor here. It's really, really interesting to watch people change their views in public, and I appreciate you sharing that with us all here. Let's go to another one. Let me think. Beth has a point. Which of you has Beth? Bring the microphone over to her.
I'm getting to Beth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate you. Hi, Beth.
I really hesitate doing this. I'm very purple. I am definitely a Biden supporter in this case, but I am disgusted by both. I can't stand the lies. I am sitting here cringing, absolutely cringing. And on the other hand, I hear Biden just kind of muffling. I don't think he's ever been a good speaker. I feel as though he is not very verbose or able to express himself. And I'm cringing at both. And I feel sad, I hate to say it for all of us, that this is what we have to vote for.
Well, thank you for being here at Braver Angels and help us think through all of it. I saw there was a hand over here on the right, and I believe it was on the abortion question. Am I thinking about that right, Sage?
Faced in your first terms, and you'd certainly face again.
with more from the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia.
I feel so lame. You guys all laughed at Donald Trump and Joe Biden a lot more than you've laughed at me so far. And I'm sorry I'm so boring. Anyways, let's go to Gary Holland up in the back. I heard you have an interesting comment to make. Gary?
Yeah, we got him up here.
You got 30 seconds.
I would just like to caution everyone who's listening, if you're concerned because you're hearing that the different speakers, the two candidates, they aren't coming through very clearly, they sound muddled, etc. I was listening to this live stream on my earbuds, just to get a comparison, and I think we're getting a lot of echo because this is a very large space. So I would encourage those of you that are making decisions based upon the quality of what you're hearing to take the time to listen to the recording separately in a good condition where you can hear the words crisply, because they are being broadcast clearly. We're just not hearing it as clear as the reality. Just take caution.
I feel like everyone who voted for Nixon in 1960 might agree with you on that. So thank you for that. Let's go over to Brent Morden. Brent, you got a thought on all this?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Brent. I'm a Red. As somebody who works in show business, I must say this is very entertaining television. There's a saying, politics is theater, and I think Trump is really performing very well. He's speaking clearly. He's answering with coherent responses, and I think he's coming across quite relatable. I want to highlight a really interesting moment in this debate, possibly a moment of common ground. When Trump was responding to the question about abortion, he acknowledged that there are differing perspectives on it, that there are states that are pursuing more liberal policies, and he said that he believes in the exceptions. And Joe Biden even highlighted that he doesn't believe in late-term abortion. And I think that shows all of us that there is some common ground on this issue, and that the conversation is shifting more in a place of common ground.
Well, there we have it.
I'd love to see more of it.
That's not what I expected here either, but thank you for pointing it out to all of us. Let's go over to Rich. Rich, are you here? Rich, I heard you went a different direction. Rich, yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. Rich, I'm a YOLO registered independent from Florida. I am an ex-MAGA American. I did everything in my power to get former President Trump elected and reelected. But despite some differences with President Biden, particularly in his style, I am going to support him in November. I think that this moment in our history requires unlikely but necessary democratic, lowercase d alliances. And if I could just paraphrase my cousin Vinny, for Braver Angels youths, please consider running for office, because our politics need to get younger. Thank you.
You hear that, John? Hey, looks like we're about to go back into the commercial break, but out of the commercial break. I want to remind you, Monica Guzman is taking things for a braver way out in the back. Go find her. Thanks for being here, Monty. And everybody else, I am really heartened by the amount of laughter I am hearing by both Reds and Blues all throughout this. This is not at all what I expected, but it's really nice to see. Looks like the TV is back on. Turn us all off. Turn the lights off. Let's finish out this debate. form of this new Braver Angels programming, I guess, we're piloting here. Also, I guess this was the next track in the second greatest personal conflict in American life here, right after Kendrick Lamar and Drake's rap beef. So, and perhaps they'll make music out of this one too. All right, I want to hear a lot more remarks. We have a while, and I want to hear what a lot of you say. Also, let's turn on all the lights, please, as long as we're no longer going to be watching the TV so I can see more people. Let's go first to Sleeves. Sleeves from Gangsta Grass. You're here, right? Sleeves?
Hey.
Hey, Sleeves.
I'm Sleeves from Gangsta Grass, and I'm a yellow. What up, my fellow yellows? The things that I noticed were just a lot of blanket statements, which, we'd like to have, I think all of us here would like to have a little more nuance. So things like worst president in history and, everybody trust us and most admired country in the world. And we had the cleanest water, which there was a great laughter for. So we'd like to see more nuance and a lot of just straight up falsehoods. Nobody's killing babies after they're born, that sort of thing. But the one true thing that I heard was that people are angry. And I think we've all seen that the reason that people are angry is because we're getting riled up. We're being told to be angry. We're being told to be fearful by these exact politicians and political parties and by the infotainment networks that have found that they make a lot of money by making us angry and fearful. So,
Sleeves, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Hey, I'd like to ask the folks doing logistics if we can turn on the lights so we can see all of our friends out here and we can see who is speaking. That would be helpful for the remainder of this event. Thank you. Is Anne Bradeen still here? Anne, you had a comment that I thought was interesting. Anne. Good to see you in person, by the way. I've seen you on Zoom a lot, but it's nice to see you here.
And can you please stand when you address the chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
My name is Ann. I wish they'd had braver angels moderators there in that last bit because that was ridiculous. Neither one of them answered a lot of very important questions. I felt like they kind of let them get into that back and forth that nobody likes or wants. And I can't remember.
Thank you for.
Anyway.
Yeah.
One thing I heard Trump say that he had offered help, that he could, on January 6th, that he could see that things were getting out of hand and that he had offered help. And I had never heard that. I don't know whether I'm the only one or not that had never heard that. And so I appreciated that. To me, that kind of showed that, there is a lot of stuff that maybe I didn't really even know.
Let's all watch the news over the next couple days because that might be a helpful bit of context. Is Claudia upstairs? Claudia?
Yep, Claudia's here.
Claudia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I think the constant question that I had in my mind this entire debate was, what's in my control? I kept looking to people around me and checking my phone, and I was actually finding a lot of comfort in the fact that I wasn't the only one feeling just deep, deep panic. And I think that just gave me a good sense of where we can go from here. And I'm still having some moments of anxiety and just where do we go from here. But I really appreciate that I was able to watch this in a setting that we are in right now, because we are in a space, right, where regardless of our differences, we decided to show up when we didn't have to. And we are in a space that has been built on faith, whether spiritual, theological, but I find so much hope and power that, at the end of the day, I'm going to go home and the people that are affecting my day-to-day policies in life are the elected and appointed officials that are my neighbors. I don't know these men personally, and I might not never know them, but I was trying to find the semblance, right, in what Monica said in her opening, right? The thing that, what was it? Hope has wings. Hope is a thing with feathers, and I wanted to add that point because I definitely am in a space where I have to go back and ruminate on all these things, and I'll probably have more like moments of panic and fear, but I just wanted to root myself, at least in this moment, where I know that I'm going to be able to go back home and at least be able to be surrounded by people that.
Well, don't go home too soon. There's still another couple days of convention.
There you go. Exactly. We're all here together. So again, just that's where my thoughts are right now.
But thank you for sharing your hope with us. Yang, I'm only going to call on you if you promise to write something about this convention in Unheard magazine. Is that good? Sure. Cool. Great. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Yang, and I'm a Red. I'm from Brooklyn, and I just want to say, no matter who you think won this debate, I think democracy lost tonight. Because from what I've seen, there was a question about childcare, right? And instead of Trump answering the question about childcare, he was basically, oh yeah, Biden, he's the worst president. Did you know that? And then Biden's like, I got statistics. 156 historians said that, no, you're the worst president. And then there was the whole thing about golf, right? I'm listening these two people talk about handicaps. I'm like, are they the handicapped ones or something? And sorry about that. And then finally, there's just this whole thing about like, oh yeah, did Trump actually say, oh, veterans are losers and suckers? And then the whole thing just went on for like several minutes in the debate. And I'm just like, I think we, the American people, are the losers and suckers here for having to watch this farce of a debate. All right, because democracy, what I thought, it was supposed to be a marketplace of ideas. We were supposed to exchange ideas with each other, talk about what policies we want, talk about what we can do to make a better country together. And instead, we just have these two people who are supposed to lead us just bickering with each other.
If they don't, we must.
Right. And you know what? We've got like 8 debates over the next couple of days that you all can prove something about that too. Yang, thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing all that with us. I want everybody to be thinking here too, and you don't have to answer this necessarily, but maybe this will start getting your mind thinking, what would you have done differently, or what would you have preferred either of these guys to have done differently? How could this have been a better debate? I'm also just curious, because like Jesse and I were up here kind of hectically trying to figure out speaker order and stuff. I didn't catch what was funny. And I would really like to be looped in on the jokes so that I can understand all the memes for the next couple days. So I would appreciate remarks on what people found funny and good and amusing in this too. There's somebody named Carl on the rafters. Is that right? Is there a Carl?
Yep.
Thank you, Carl.
Hey there, it's not Carl, it's Matt.
But I sincerely apologize.
No, you're okay. Tonight, say what you will about the debate and the politics behind it and all of that jazz. Watching several of these debates, I would say this is probably the most civil debate I've seen so far between these two. Okay.
Yeah, so why was that?
Right?
Why was that?
Small wins. Well, you can see for yourself. I mean, there was discourse between the two that was negative, obviously, but not a lot of yelling and overstepping and that sort of thing. So good, small wins. But tonight, I'm representing our newly formed alliance, the North Carolina Triad Braver Angels Alliance, with my blue co-chair here. All right, and what we're doing here tonight on the national scale is we're setting a new model for debate and discourse, and we're telling the country that we don't want this extreme banter anymore, and we want to come together. Right, we're bringing reds, blues, yellows, purples together, and we're doing this right here, right now. All right, so that's my comment for tonight.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. And thanks for what you're doing in Carolina. And logistical staff, thank you for shedding light upon this inquiry. This is very, very helpful, and I will see more people. Hey, Gabby, I know you had mentioned something earlier about how you were feeling in the plenaries, and I'm wondering how you felt right after the plenary, and then how you felt right after this debate.
Hello. Oh.
Hi.
Well, I was just thinking about the contrast between how hopeful I was feeling during the plenaries and then this knot in my stomach I had during the debate. But the relief for me was in appreciating, like, that is not our salvation. Those two men are not saving our country. And it's just a reminder that we are the people that we've been waiting for. So that was actually my own personal relief, coming away from election after election where, like, our candidate's going to turn this thing around. And now it's like, neither of these people are turning this ship around. So really, what a good testament to us all being here tonight. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and also thank you for helping us with the whipping here, Gabby. You've been great. Is Michelle? Michelle had an interesting comment about something. Michelle, yeah, stand up.
Hi. My name is Michelle from Los Angeles.
Great city.
Yeah, this was interesting. I think we're in a politically transformative moment. I know my politics has transformed. It's why I came here, because I feel so disconnected from my friends. I've been blue most of my life now, obviously. One of the things tonight, I want to stick to policy because I think one of the things that can bring us together is I think we really do agree on a lot of things. And like abortion tonight, I never thought I would agree with what Trump did with Roe v. Wade. But I think he did put it back in the hands of the people and out of politics. I thought it was kind of extraordinary to see Ohio in the midterms vote for abortion. They finally had a say. All these working class people, I've seen Batya, I'm excited for your discussion, and your book, of course, is amazing. Second class. But it feels like I want to keep an open mind and an open heart with everything. I know what we just saw, and we deserve better. And I think everybody here knows that. And I hope that the next couple of days we strive to come together on policy and move forward with that.
Well, we've got a bunch of conversations and debates about that, including one which will be chaired by Madam Chair herself in 2 days from now. So we shall see where that goes. I just want to see a quick show of hands because a couple of you all have mentioned this. And this is not about any subject in particular. This is about all subjects in general. Who here found their mind changed by something they saw in this debate? Their mind and their opinion on anything at all relating to politics? Who had your mind changed? Raise your hands high. Raise your hands high. Okay, so that's actually a surprisingly large minority of you, which is good. Okay, if anybody who had your mind changed wants to share why, I would be really interested in calling on you on that. So feel free to share. But also anybody who has a comment or a remark, please keep raising your hands. I want to get more in. Oh, hey, what's up? Sugar Bear.
I've been dying to see.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Sugar Bear. Come right up to the front. Come right up.
Yeah.
I apologize for my rudeness.
But you know, I was listening to it, and my first thought was, if both of those men were air traffic controllers, and 500 planes were about ready to run out of fuel, and they had to make a quick decision, which one would you choose? The one that was having a hard time like my grandfather, or the one that was, saying all that, what I did? Would he be saying all of what I did, as every plane is crashing? Or would he be, and every plane is crashing? But I'm gonna tell you up front, I'm a big Trump fan. I'm gonna get that out of the way. And if I had went through what that man went through, you would see Sugar Bear highlights, News at 5, what he did. But with that, I was disappointed when the January 6th question came up. And I thought he would have an opportunity to let America know, yes, it was a travesty of what happened to our Capitol, and I tried to get troops in there and no one listened, but I am looking for the future for America. It happened under my watch, as I should have left with a lot of dignity, but he didn't do it. But it doesn't change Sugar Bear's vote for him with that person, that other person that's next to him.
Well, but
And-
Sugar Bear, you just did something very much in the Braver Angel way. You said something about your own side in a way that was both honest and very good, and I appreciate you doing that in the way that only you can. So thank you for there. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Sugar Bear. All right, let's go to some more speeches real quick. Oh, Molly. Hey, somebody get a microphone to Molly over here. Emily, do you mind? So there's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, and I also want to take comments from people I don't know as well too. But Molly, you go first here.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm from Missouri and live in Boston. And I think I was thinking a lot about my nephews and nieces. I have 11 nieces and nephews, and I'm also a future mom as well. And I will just say that I think what most disappointed me in the entire night was that a lot of my nieces and nephews who are 10 to 21 years old are more mature than our future candidates, than our two candidates for president. And I think what was funny, Luke, to answer your question earlier, is I think we start laughing instead of crying. And I think that I found a lot of the debate very depressing. I'm a blue. I wrote down every insult Biden said. I thought it was incredibly immature. And if I had been a moderator, what I would have done differently is said at the beginning, the moment you insult each other, you're insulting the way that Americans want democracy to function. And the moment we hear an insult, we're going to cut off your mic and shorten your time. And every time I heard an insult, I would have cut off their mic. And I will just say that those two men, we would have had to hear a lot less from that, and they would have quickly learned that they were going to be silenced for demonstrating that kind of behavior to an American public. I don't think they're role models for any children in America, and certainly any adults. And I would say that as far as another just one other basic point is these folks do not know how to answer a question. Again, that is another number two complaint, is they almost never answered a question. And on the number one topic for one of my number one topics is the economy. And as a small business owner, that affects me a lot right now. And I will just say that they had one question about it, and I don't know if I heard a single policy statement about it. And that is true for most of the questions entirely.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And when we go to our Braver Angels debates over the next couple of days, make sure to answer questions as best you can. And by the way, I don't know. This is something these guys could have probably learned. I don't know is a perfectly acceptable answer for any question you're ever asked. Here's the gentleman in the blazer over here. Emily, can you give it to him?
My name is Hans Arthur Peterson, and as a man who's been homeless since the first Obama administration and a recipient of a $600 scholarship and a $400 plane ticket home, I just want to say praise God and thank you for your hospitality. This has been like Disneyland. But the two issues that are most precious to me as a Christian and a Republican were not even addressed, really. I'm devastated what cultural Marxism has done, especially to the poor, how intersectionality has brought in a huge spirit of victimhood to this country. It was not even addressed.
Would you mind talking about the debate, though?
Sure.
What's on the debate? Thank you.
And I was very disappointed in Trump that on the energy issue, he didn't mention Koonen's book, who was the Undersecretary of Energy for President Obama, who says the existential crisis is not global warming. The existential crisis is going off oil. And if you want to read the book, it's what climate science tells us, what it doesn't, and why it matters.
That's interesting. Hey, thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us in Braver Angels. There's somebody named Helena who has a point that my whips tell me is an important one. Can one of you all get that to Helena? Helena, where are you?
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm Helena. I'm from Virginia. Something that really worried me and just was really like saddening was just the constant overgeneralizations and just kind of like misconceptions. And for me, like just immigration is one of those issues that I was hoping to get, some more like clarity on about the candidates' stances. And instead I just got, they're coming across and they're stealing jobs, and that's not true. Or the countries are sending people from asylums and hospitals, or they're bringing all the drugs. And actually it was like in the last couple of years, by far the majority of they talked about fentanyl trafficking. that's mostly done by Americans. We can't blame, like, we literally can't blame just immigrants from other countries. And I just like, I think it's just hard because these are people in the limelight, and I think their on the ground perspective is limited. But we are like normal citizens, and we're on the ground, and we can see people, and we can see how they treat one another. And like, I lived for a year and a half in Vegas as a volunteer, and I like taught English and like, taught about God to a lot of immigrants, and I like spoke Spanish. And so many of them are here to get good jobs, to work hard, not to steal, to help their families, and they're like amazing people. And so it just like really hurt my heart to hear such terrible things.
We need your voice in multiple of the Braver Angels events for the rest of this evening, or for the rest of this weekend. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody, a very quick note. I can hear some of our commentary starting to go deeper into policy stuff, which is good, by the way. I love policy. Policy is great. Policy is fun. However, we need to keep this a little bit closer to the debate, our feelings about the debate and our feelings and worries about America in general. So please keep your comments more on those than on issues themselves, if that makes sense. Right over here, Linda, is that you? Somebody bring a microphone over to Linda Beck, one of the, Linda Bidlack, one of the real OGs, as we call them here in Braver Angels.
Thank you. I noticed a lot of red spoke in a row. Just noticing.
I honestly am just like calling on the names that I see.
I understand.
So, yeah.
I want to say that appeared to be 90% name calling. It was my perspective that Trump was the instigator of that more often, and it pulled the whole tone down to defensiveness back and accusation. I would really like to hear Trump be held accountable to say what he would do instead, instead of pointing at the other guy, what you're doing is a disaster.
Thank you for that. And by the way, my barber told me a couple weeks ago when I told him about this event, that the question that people should be asking here is, what would you have done differently? What should you have done differently? And you're asking that question, and I appreciate that. Everybody be thinking on that. Oh, there's a lady in the blue jacket here in the back. Elizabeth, can you bring her the microphone, please? Or somebody bring her a microphone. Okay, ma'am, hold your thought. We'll go to you right after this. Is there another question while we get the microphone to you? This lady up in the front, is there a, Let us go to our friend over here, and then we'll get back to you in just a minute, ma'am.
Hey, yes, I just wanted to say, so clown show, biggest loser, we the people. Second biggest loser is CNN, because this could have been better if they had included RFK Jr., just saying. So, one, they changed the rules, so they made it to where instead of it polling 15% in one poll, it was 4 polls, which would exclude any third-party candidate from that. And then they made it to where instead of just qualifying for 270 electoral votes, it was confirmed, which many states aren't even in the confirming process. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s in my state in South Carolina via party nomination, them on the ballot in November through petition. However, confirmation in counties isn't due until like mid-July. So anyways, unfair metrics, unfair debate, excluding a perfectly great candidate. Vote RFK Jr.
There's a third-party debate happening on Saturday, so you should speak in that. Okay, our friend in the back, ma'am. Can someone turn her mic on, please?
Hi, I'm Stephanie from Laguna Beach, California. And I would just like to say, I don't know why either of the candidates ever talk about how they're going to reunite us in some way. No one ever talks about how they're going to make all of our discourse better. And then the other thing, I guess that's our job. And then the other thing I would like to say is that I think it would be a really great exercise to do fact-checking on everything that was said tonight.
As a Braver Angels debate chair, I will be the first to concede that I don't know any of the facts myself, so I myself cannot rule on it. Apologize there. Maybe CNN might bring that in. Let's keep going to more hands. Keep going to more hands. The gentleman right up front here. Emily, can you bring it to him, please? Yep, and we're going to go, I think, till 10:15 or so. I'm going to try to get as many people in as I can. Sir, up to you.
I want to start by saying I did not see anyone on that debate stage that I would want to have as my next president. That said, we know one of them is going to be. What we saw tonight, I thought, was two high school bullies arguing with each other in the playground. And I also would love to see the fact checkers once they come.
We shall see when this goes. More hands, and be curious to hearing some more voices. Oh, this lady with the red, white, and blue cat ears?
I don't know what they're called, actually.
They look great. I'm going to think of them as cat ears right now. Mrs. Cat Ears, how are you?
Fine. I'm Daphne. I'm a new state coordinator for Massachusetts. I had to say that, for Massachusetts. One of the things that I and my wife have been concerned about, and this runs against the Braver Angels stuff, is the people who are supporting the other one and how they're going to react, and are they the problem? And what I saw tonight, watching all of us watch together and watching this group temperature go down and sorrow, and that we all shared in it, maybe for different reasons, but we're all the people here voting for whomever, and that gives me hope that we could do that together and share that together.
What do you mean this is not in the Braver Angels thing? This is the Braver Angels way. Thank you for that.
Wait, hang on. We have an announcement.
Yes, we have a quick announcement.
Will Jim Carpenter, if you are in this room, please meet Mark Metzger in the vestibule for a lost and found. Thank you.
On that note, Jesse, what did you think about this debate? What's your reaction? Any feeling?
I was surprised. I agree that it was more civil than I expected. But maybe that was just the feeling of being in this room with everyone and just feeling all of your feelings. The laughter surprised me. But we were hoping that maybe we would get some positive feelings, so we'll take that. Yeah, that's what I take away. I'm enjoying hearing all of your comments, and the people who changed your mind, that's fascinating to me.
More hands, more comments. This lady over here, someone bring a microphone to her, please. Ma'am?
My name's Kathy. I'm a lifelong Republican. And 5 criteria, Trump won 3. Number 1, he won in presentation. Number 2, he beat Biden in the number of lies. Number 3, he beat Biden in the number of just not answering the question. It was a tie when it comes to age. And when it came to solutions, actual solutions, Biden won. And it makes me very sad that I will have to cast my ballot for somebody that I really don't want to, and that's Joe Biden.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's go to a couple more. I see a name here whose voice I have not heard in a long time, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about this. Our friend, Greg, yeah.
Somewhat. Greg Smith, Waynesville, Ohio, 20 minutes north of South Lebanon, Ohio, in case you didn't know. So my take from this was, I think it's the first time in 4 years of Braver Angels, 4 conventions, that I'm almost speechless. But all I can say is I think Joe Biden could have done worse. I do believe that. I've seen him in worse conditions. And I think Donald Trump could have done better. And what I'd like to see as a resolve, first, before I say that, I want to say, if you want to see how Braver Angels would handle something very near this, on your YouTube, you can go to CBS Good Morning, Guns, put that down, and you'll find that Don Daler, the reporter that covered us on an evening, we did a fishbowl exercise. And at the end of it, Don Daler, the reporter from CBS, who's worked also with Fox and I forget what other network, but he concluded that had we been in Congress that night, we'd have resolved problems with the gun issues. So I want to say that. Go watch it. I'd like to see a debate in Brave Angel style for these presidents. It's the only way.
Well, I gotta apologize to you, Greg. Chairing one of these debates is a little bit above my pay grade right now. So
I don't think so. I think you'd do it better. I'll nominate you as the red, and I'll take Darcy Crossman, who's not here. She can be the blue. How's that?
Let's talk sometime soon, Greg. Greg, I'm so glad you're here. Let's go to a couple of last questions before we rouse up. Oh, the secretary of the convention. Gabby, can you bring this over to Barry, please?
Hi, yeah. So while, like many of you, I was disappointed with the name calling, I think something that brought a question to my mind is that there is an attractiveness of Trump's showness that has called in a lot of the American population. And I wonder to what extent that is the anti-elitism that is feeding into that, and if we could kind of find like a middle ground rhetoric that could get that population back on board with us.
Maybe someone will come up with something over the next few days, but thank you for bringing that here. That's good. Oh, right back here, just pass it 2 rows back to Miss Cataldi.
Thank you. I'm Rebecca. I'm a pro-life, blue-leaning independent from Arlington, Virginia. I was very frustrated and disheartened by a lot of what I heard up there, a lot of name-calling and kind of like kids throwing sand in the sandbox in each other's faces is what came to me. But listening to so many of us here, I feel like regardless of our political persuasions, a lot of us are saying the same thing, that we want and we deserve better. We want more civility. We want to actually hear solutions to the issues, and our country deserves better. And I mean, this is America. This is the country that produced Washington and Lincoln and Jefferson, and there's no reason we should have to settle for what we've been given. So I guess my comment that I'm thinking watching this debate is that I feel like we're not alone in this room. I think the vast majority of Americans wants to see better, and it's a smaller minority that really wants to feed off of the negativity and the name-calling showmanship. So how do we raise our voices as the sort of civil majority to say, no, this incivility is not acceptable? How do we become a constructively louder voice than the more extremist minority elements that feed off that conflict? So I don't know. I'd love to talk about that more during the convention. Maybe we need a march for civility on Washington or something like that.
Well, I believe you can be one of the people who can help organize that from Arlington, Virginia, across the bridge. I think that's a good segue into the final question we have this evening for everybody here, and I'll be curious to hear responses. What will you take away from tonight's event to build a better America? What will you take away from tonight's event to build a better America? And I would like to see a couple of hands raised, and we'll go to some. Bishop Beckwith. Gabby, can you bring it to him, please? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Beckwith, a blue from New Hampshire, and I didn't want to come tonight because I thought it would be a battle of egos, and it was. And when egos battle, the ego is interested in resisting change, averse to risk, and wants to win. And when egos battle, it kindles our egos as well. And I didn't want that to happen, but it did, and it does. But hearing this conversation from people, we want to go to a deeper place. And I would say we want to go to the soul, where imagination is launched, where creativity comes from, and where love is born. And it seems that Braver Angels is that entity more than any other that I know of that has the capacity to move us from the ego to the soul. Biden and Trump were both set up to be in an ego battle. Our culture does that. We have the capacity, we have the passion, and we have the ability to make changes in that.
Thank you for being here. I'm wondering, I know an old friend and a founder of Braver Angels is here, Bill Doherty. And Bill, I'm wondering, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Is there anything that you would take away from this event? Say that again.
Great.
Oh.
I think what Mark said was a beautiful ending.
It is a beautiful ending, but I have to take at least a couple really quick ones, because I trust that the ending will remain beautiful as we go through. Let's just take a couple last quick ones, because I want to give other people the chance to respond. This gentleman over on the left here.
Hi, Bruce from Pennsylvania. I think the cooperation entrepreneurs in this room just need to throw a better party than that. That's it. We just need to do it. It's so much better. More of this, less of that. Amplify it. That's it.
Thank you for being here. We'll take one last one. What can you take from this event to build a better America?
Up there.
Yep, I see you. Bring it over there. Thank you, Ian.
Hi, I'm Lucas Rice. I'm from South Texas. One problem I had with the debate is I felt like neither candidate.
We're going on to another question. What can you take from this event?
I'm gonna connect it to that one. A problem I felt like with the debate was neither candidate talked about their policies that they've gotten passed or things they've achieved as president, as much as they attacked one another or mentioned how hard they could swing a golf club. I think moving forward for this country, because we're not here, all of us are here for moving this country further rather than picking the candidate with the better rhetoric. I think that we should look at the candidates' former policies, their former achievements. One may be better at piloting a plane or trafficking a plane, but the question should be, which one has caused more plane crashes?
Thank you for that. I'm actually going to take one last response to this question. I'm going to ask Natalie LaRoche, who always has wise things to say about this. Natalie, what are you going to take away from this event to help build a better America?
I am going to take away that we need to spend our time well over the next few days and show America what the better way to debate is.
And on that note, and in a special respect to Mark Beckwith's note, we of the Braver Angels National Debates team and all of our fantastic whips and everyone in our national community to yours, and you are a part of ours, we wish you a happy good night. And we will see you for the rest of the Braver Angels National Convention. See you on the debate floor. Good night, everybody.